guys, Dora here, and today I'll be talking about my summer reads. This could also double as a recommendations video because some of the books I'll be talking about today are books that everybody must read. So without further ado, let's just get started. The first series I'll be talking about today is Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. Now, if you've been with me since the beginning, you know how much I love Vampire Academy. I absolutely adore it. And if you're new, welcome! I absolutely love Vampire Academy series. There are 6 books in the series, and each book is kick-ass. The story is told in a short span of time, so everything is moving. Everything's fast-paced. You'll never get bored. The story has a lot of adventures, and it has relatable characters, and it also has some sexy boys up in here. I'm just saying. Now I know what you're thinking. Dora, the vampire craze is so over. Get with the program. I know the cover isn't sexy and the name isn't appealing, but it truly is an amazing story. Vampire Academy is about a girl named Rose Hathaway who's a Dhampir, and Dhampirs are trained to become guardians and they guard the Moroi. And Rose's best friend, Vasilisa Dragomir, is the last one in her line, so she's like a precious gem. And this whole story, we follow Rose training really hard to become Lissa's guardian because they're BFFs and they want to stick together. So yeah, I truly do recommend you read this during the summer. I read it all the time. I can't go a summer without reading Vampire Academy. It's just the perfect summer read for me. I just showed you the series that I go to every summer, and now I'm going to show you my go-to summer author, and that is Sarah Dessen. Sarah Dessen has amazing summer reads. I absolutely adore reading her books in the summer, though I do recommend you read her older publication novels just because her new ones are kind of hit or miss. One of her newer novels that I absolutely hated, that I thought was absolute trash, that I thought had no purpose to it, was The Moon and More. That book was absolute trash. So I really do recommend starting out with her older novels. The first book I read all the time in the summer is Just Listen. Now this one isn't a very summery read, mostly because it deals with a lot of heavy issues such as eating disorders and sexual assault. But all the same, I love reading Just Listen in the summer. It's one of my absolute favorite ones. This story follows Annabelle, a girl who used to be part of the popular crowd, but something happened at a party that tore her and her best friend apart, making her the outsider of the popular crowd. But not only does she feel alone at school, she also feels alone at her house because everybody's so preoccupied with her older sister. If this book feels like it's too heavy in the sexual assault and eating disorder issues for the summer, I absolutely recommend you read it after summer because it's such a good book. I absolutely love it. The next book I love by Sarah Dessen is Along for the Ride. This book follows Auden, a girl whose parents divorce, and for the summer she decides to go live with her dad before she heads off to college. But not only is she living with her dad, but she's also living with her dad's new girlfriend and new baby. Since the baby is very colicky and doesn't sleep at night, Auden is always up, so she goes out and adventures to town. Not only is she trying to figure out where she belongs in the world, she's also trying to figure out where she belongs in her dad's new little family. Like I said, I absolutely loved this book and I recommend it for summer reading. And the last Sarah Dessen novel that I absolutely adore with all my heart is What Happened to Goodbye. In this story, we follow McLean, a girl who lives with her dad. Now, they move a lot, so McLean is never in the same place or same school for a long time. But the thing about McLean is that she reinvents herself every time she moves to a new town. She changes her name and she changes her personality. This truly is one of my top 3. First being Just Listen, then it's What Happened to Goodbye, and then This Lullaby. I absolutely adore This Lullaby, though I don't own a copy of This Lullaby, but I also recommend you read This Lullaby. And the good thing about Sarah Dessen's novels is that their characters intertwine. In What Happened to Goodbye, we get a mention of Auden, not by name, but if you read Along for the Ride, you know how Auden's description is, then you'll know she's in this book. As well as Just Listen. If you read The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen as well, then you know that the main character of The Truth About Forever makes a cameo in Just Listen. So that's one of the cool things that I love about Sarah Dessen, that one way or another we get to see some of her other characters in her other novels. This next book that I'm going to read this summer is one that I absolutely adore with all my heart because I relate to the character so much, and I talked about it in my Characters I Relate To video. I'll link the video up here, and the book I'm talking about is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I absolutely adore this book because me and Emily were like the same person. So if you're reading this book, you're basically reading my life story. Me and Emily were like the same in so many ways. Like, I relate to her so much. I absolutely love her. This book is about Emily, a shy person who follows a very outgoing person. When summer comes along, her best friend disappears, and all Emily has is a letter that was sent to her by her best friend of a list of things that she has to do for the summer. So I'll read you the first 3 things in the list, and that is kiss a stranger, go skinny dipping, and steal something. And the reason why her best friend gave her this list is so that Emily could branch out and break out of her little shy bubble. And since it's set in the summer, it's perfect for summer reading. And the next novel that I have from Morgan Matson is one that I have not read at all, so I don't know whether I like it or not, but I will be reading it this summer, and if I do end up loving it as much as I love Since You've Been Gone, it'll probably end up on my summer reading list again next year, and that is The Unexpected Everything. I have not yet read this book, as I said, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but great things about it the summer it came out, and this book is about a girl named Andy who takes on a summer job of dog walking because she's dealing with residual effects of a scandal that broke out in her town, and she's dealing with it because she's the politician's daughter. So she has to deal with it in the real life outside, and then she has to deal with it at home with her dad. And when I read Morgan Matson novels, this is how I read them. Outside, at the back porch, on a very hot afternoon, with a tall glass of ice water, and since the sun is setting, but it's still light outside, that I can read. And not only do I have the drink to cool me down, the sprinklers are on. The mist cools my skin, and it's just the perfect reading scenario. I absolutely recommend Since You've Been Gone, and I'll probably end up reading this and reviewing it on my wrap-up. Now, I'm a person who likes to read a whole bunch of different genres during the summer. I can't just stick to contemporary, or I can't just stick to fantasy, because I know some people love to read fantasy during the summer as well. But for me, I absolutely have to read one of everything. And this next book that I have here is one of my absolute favorite thriller mystery novels, and that is Killer Instinct by S.E. Green. This story is about a girl named Lane who has an obsession with serial killers. She knows everything about them down to the very smallest detail. And she knows all of this because she feels like she's going to become a serial killer as well. Lane channels these feelings by becoming a vigilante. And when a serial killer with the name of the Decapitator comes into her town and makes a move, she's more than excited to meet them. But when the Decapitator makes contact with her and threatens not only her but her entire family, Lane has other things in mind when she decides she wants to meet this guy. So she decides to use her newfound serial killer talent into hunting the Decapitator and taking justice with her own hands. This is a really great mystery novel. I absolutely love it. Even though I already know how it ends, even though I've read it like a gazillion times, I still get shocked by who the Decapitator is. It's such a short book. You'll finish it in like 3-4 hours. So yeah, this is my top most recommend book that you read this summer. And the last book series that I want to talk to you guys about is the Shadowhunter World by Cassandra Clare. There are so many books in this world that your entire summer is booked. Each and every book is filled with adventure, with comedy, mystery. You cannot go wrong with the Shadowhunter World. We have the Mortal Instrument series, we have the Infernal Devices series, and the newfound series, the Dark Artifice series. And that is the wrong number. The Dark Artifice series. There we go, that's correct. See, I'm horrible at math. The Mortal Instruments is about a girl named Clary whose mom goes missing. And in the search for finding her mother, she finds herself in this new world called the Shadowhunter World. And not only is she surprised that this world actually exists, but she's also surprised to find that her mom was a Shadowhunter, and that in turn makes Clary Frey, a Shadowhunter as well. Now, the Infernal Devices series, that is the prequel to the Mortal Instruments series. So that takes place in the 1800s, and we follow Tessa Gray in search for her brother. There's not really a correct way for anybody to read this. You can start off with the Mortal Instruments series or the Infernal Devices series, but if you are planning on reading the Dark Artifices series, you have to read the Mortal Instruments series, the Infernal Devices series, and Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy. So yeah, those are all the books that I'll be reading this summer / recommend you guys read as well. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of my face, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!